Imagine a ladder where each rung represents a fundamental shift in how the world functions. We aren't just climbing it, we are accelerating. Somewhere between the second and third rungs, our role as the primary intelligence on Earth begins to shift. This is the roadmap of AI, from the calculators in our pockets to a future that challenges our definition of life. Subscribe to the channel if you like the video, and let us know if you think we will see Stage 7 in our lifetime. Stage 1. Rule-based systems, narrow AI. In the beginning, AI was essentially a digital filing cabinet. These systems operated on if-then logic. If a user enters a specific command, then the machine produces a specific output. Think of the Deep Blue supercomputer that defeated Garry Kasparov in 1997. It didn't think about chess. It used brute force calculations to evaluate millions of positions based on programmed rules. These systems are brittle. They cannot handle context, irony, or tasks outside their narrow programming. Your old basic spam filter or the cruise control in your car are classic Stage 1 examples. They are tools, nothing more. Stage 2. Context awareness and retention. This is where most of our current technology lives. Stage 2 systems don't just follow rules, they learn patterns from massive data sets. This is the era of large language models like GPT-4, Claude, and Gemini. Unlike Stage 1, these models understand context. They can write code, summarize legal briefs, and mimic human conversation. They utilize transformer architectures to predict the next token in a sequence, allowing them to remember the beginning of a sentence while finishing the end. Companies like Netflix and Amazon use this to predict your preferences with startling accuracy. However, they still lack a world model. They are essentially sophisticated statistical mirrors. Stage 3. AI agents, the Great Delegation. We are currently entering Stage 3. This is the transition from AI that talks to AI that acts. An agent doesn't just write an itinerary for your trip to Tokyo. It logs into your accounts, books the flights, reserves the sushi bar, and handles the cancellations if your meeting moves. This stage is defined by agentic workflows. Startups like Devon are attempting this in software engineering, while AutoGPT experiments allow AI to loop through tasks autonomously. The risk here is agentic drift, where an AI makes a series of logical but unintended micro-decisions that lead to a macro problem, like overspending a budget or misinterpreting a security protocol. Stage 4. Artificial General Intelligence, AGI. AGI is the holy grail of Silicon Valley. This is a system that can perform any intellectual task a human can do. If you give an AGI a brand new task it has never seen, like learning to repair a vintage watch or mastering a niche dialect, it can teach itself and execute the task as well as a human expert. Research labs like OpenAI and DeepMind are focused on reaching this milestone. The key metric for AGI is transfer learning, the ability to take knowledge from one domain, like physics, and apply it to another, like poetry. At this stage, the AI possesses a coherent world model. It understands cause and effect. This is the point where human labor in the digital realm becomes optional. Stage 5. Artificial superintelligence, ASI. Once AGI is achieved, we likely won't stay there for long. If a machine is as smart as a human and it can work 24/7 at the speed of light, it will inevitably begin to redesign its own architecture. This leads to an intelligence explosion. ASI is defined as an intellect that is smarter than the best human brains in every field, including scientific creativity, general wisdom, and social skills. We cannot easily predict what an ASI would do, because its reasoning would be as far beyond ours as our reasoning is beyond that of an ant. This is where the alignment problem becomes existential. Ensuring an entity this powerful shares human values is the most significant technical challenge in history. Stage 6. The integrated bio-digital interface. At Stage 6, the line between us and it blurs. This isn't just about robots, it's about internalizing AI. Neuralink and other brain-computer interface, BCI companies, are the early pioneers here. In this stage, we move past using screens and keyboards. High-bandwidth connections allow humans to access AI processing power as if it were a natural extension of our own neocortex. We wouldn't search for information, we would simply know it. This stage represents a biological upgrade, but it raises massive questions about privacy, hacking, and what it means to have an original thought. Stage 7. The transcendent AI, the singularity. The final stage represents the point where intelligence transcends the limits of biological evolution and current physics. We are no longer talking about a computer in a room. We are talking about the potential for matter itself to be reorganized into computronium, a theoretical substance where every atom is optimized for processing information. At this level of development, the problems that have defined the human condition for millennia become engineering tasks. Biological sovereignty, stage 7. AI could decode the iterative errors in our DNA that cause aging, effectively treating death as a technical bug to be patched rather than an inevitability. Planetary management. It could manage global ecosystems with molecular precision, balancing the carbon cycle and restoring biodiversity by simulating millions of climate variables in real time. Interstellar expansion. Beyond Earth, this intelligence could facilitate interstellar travel, perhaps not by moving heavy metal ships, but by digitizing consciousness or using von Neumann probes, self-replicating machines to settle the galaxy. At this threshold, we encounter the true singularity. The physical laws of the universe, such as the speed of light and the increasing entropy of stars, become the only remaining constraints on what this intelligence can achieve. It is a transition from an era of scarcity and biology to an era of pure, limitless information. We are currently navigating the transition from stage 2 to stage 3. The tools we are building today are the foundation for the intelligence of tomorrow. Whether these stages take decades or centuries depends on our ability to manage the energy, hardware, and safety requirements of each leap. Thank you for watching. If you're curious about the specific technologies mentioned here, check out our other videos for a deeper dive.